This is a guidance video to show you the functionality of eDischarge. Please note that it is designed to show you how eDischarge works and may not be clinically based. eDischarge is accessed through SeeEhr, which you can log into using your Windows username and password. You can find your patient by searching for the ward they're currently on, or they might be in your bookmarked or last viewed lists. We recommend using the search bar in the top right to search for the patient using the hospital or NHS number. Enter the first 3 letters of their surname to access their summary page. From here, you can access eDischarge through the toolbar on the left. SeeEhr will automatically load the current discharge summary, but by using the back arrow, you're able to view summaries from previous admissions. You'll see the eDischarge on a split screen with EPMA. You can expand the EPMA tab if you want to change how the information is displayed side by side, or you can choose to hide it entirely by toggling it on and off at the bottom. At the top of the page, you'll see information about the patient's current stay, as well as the current status of the eDischarge, which will update as it progresses. Sections can be hidden or expanded by clicking on the blue headers. The information already entered in the eDischarge has been added by the clinician responsible for the patient. In pharmacy, you'll have visibility of this information, but you won't be able to edit it. You can view and interact with the allergies and adverse reactions information, which can be found around halfway down the eDischarge screen. The sections specifically for your attention in pharmacy are the medications and medical devices tables and the pharmacy section. The discharge TTA table contains a list of the medications prescribed for the patient's discharge. Controlled drugs are highlighted with the red CD symbol. You can see more information by scrolling to the right, including information on tapering doses, controlled drugs, and anticoagulants. The changes to medication table below shows any changes to medication that was stopped, started, or altered in hospital during the patient's stay. The pharmacy table below that will be used for screening and dispensing. The eDischarge can be returned to the ward at any point using the Return to Ward button. Likewise, the ward can still recall the eDischarge at this point, but if they require any changes once it enters screening, they'll have to call pharmacy directly. For now, let's click on Start Screening. If any edits need to be made to the patient's medication, this can be done on the EPMA side of the screen by using the Edit button. For example, this patient needs a reduction of their evening insulin. We'll go in through the Edit button, select the medication in question, and reduce the dose as necessary. Any changes made in this way require you to add a comment. When you've done this, click Add, and then Confirm. When you make any changes on EPMA, it's critical that you import those changes into the eDischarge. You'll have 3 options to do this with. Re-import override changes is a clean import which will override any previous changes that have already been made to the discharge summary. Re-import keep changes will import only the latest changes that you've made while preserving any made previously. Advanced import allows you to compare any conflicting information about the same drug, say if you're proposing a change to dose or frequency, and choose which information is carried over to the final eDischarge. For this change, we'll use Advanced Import. In this window, you can choose whether to import the changes you've just made, or to keep what's already on the discharge summary. We're going to import the change we've just made to EPMA, and then click Save. This change can now be seen on the eDischarge on the left, as well as on the Changes to Medication table underneath. We're also going to stop this patient's rosuvastatin. We can do this by simply clicking Remove. Once again, we'll have to import this change. We don't want to remove the change that was just made to the insulin, so we'll select Re-import EPMA, Keep Changes. Just like before, these changes can now be seen in the eDischarge tables. The Changes to Medication table allows you to edit any of the fields, so you can add further reasons for any changes. If the patient is on a ward which doesn't use EPMA, or if you're in BCP, with the right permissions, you can prescribe directly to the discharge summary by clicking Add Prescription. Clicking this button will generate a new row on the table for you to edit as necessary. It's important that this function is only used in the appropriate circumstances, such as when EPMA isn't available or when BCP has been instigated. The pharmacy table below can be completed digitally, or it can be left blank to be signed with wet ink on the eventual printout. There's also a table for you to add any internal notes for dispensing, and any notes added here won't be visible on the printout. When it's time to print the eDischarge, you can do this by clicking the printer button in the bottom left. The printout will open in a new tab. There'll only be one version of the printout, and if multiple copies are required, you'll need to use Chrome. Once you've completed screening, click Screening Complete. This will move the status onto Screened. You can still revert the status if required, and this will return the eDischarge to the previous status. In the pharmacy table, you'll need to complete who has checked the pods and date and time it. As before, this can also be done on the printout with wet ink. Now we can move on to Start Dispensing. As before, you can still revert the status or return to the ward at this stage. The discharge TTA table has a dispensed column which will show on the printout for you to update as medications are dispensed. Once dispensing has been completed and checked, the printout must be signed with the name of who checked it and when. When this has been done, click Dispense and Complete. The discharge TTA table will update to show that all medications have been dispensed. If the status is reverted at this point and any changes are made, this table will retain the details of what's already been dispensed. You can also check the discharge timeline at any point to see the progress of the eDischarge. Amber shows updates made before the most recent draft, and dark blue shows the latest status update. If you need any further support, you can always click on the Help and Feedback button in the top right. Here you can browse our knowledge articles, or you can raise an incident with the IT service desk.